I call to order this regular board meeting of Board of Education meeting for the school district of Sturgeon Bay, Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. Would you all stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Spritka,
Here.
Commissioner Schultz,
Here.
Commissioner Howard,
Here.
Commissioner Cruz.
Here.
Commissioner Jennerjohn,
Here.
Commissioner Chisholm. Here. Commissioner Wood,
Here.
Commissioner Haas. Here. And Commissioner Stefani is excused.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda noting that we will be going into closed session?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda, noting that we'll be going to closed session. Section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. One, review of staff evaluations for nomination of 2024 Herbie Hauser Award. And two, consideration of professional staff member leave of absence request. Action may take place in closed session on closed session topics. And B, we will return to open session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for taking that on your last. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Wood and a second by Commissioner Spritka. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And noting we will be going into closed session per 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. One, review of staff evaluation for nomination of 2024 Herbie Hauser Award. Two, consideration of professional staff member leave of absence request. Action may take place in closed session on closed session topics, and we will return to open session. Okay, then, the student council report, Kirsten Mullen.
Hello. Okay, so this month we welcome new officers, and now their job is to decide the homecoming thing for next year. That's exciting. And next month you'll meet the president, Izzy. And then we discussed Teacher Appreciation Week for next month. So it was fun. We have some fun things planned. Like, we all decided that we wanted to make some treats for like every day of the week and like breakfast snacks, and then some block chalk will be happening. So I'm excited. And that's it.
Is there anything, Kirsten, that you're excited, it may be happening in about 6.5 weeks?
No, I can't think of anything.
I can't come up with anything either.
No milestone.
I wonder, we'll see if anyone else in this room tonight will come up with something and what that may involve. What do you think? Thank you for your reports all year, and we will see you more. But thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you. See you later.
Okay, now, is the public comment section. Is there anyone in the audience that would care to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to the recognition.
Yes, excellent. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. So one of the fun things about each school year isn't just the fact that we get to start fresh each year. We get to have a wrap up at the end of each year as we look ahead. Well, part of the important wrap up isn't just a given school year, and in this case, a number of our seniors and the other classmates that they represent when we think about graduation, but right, it's a part of that cycle. And in this case, we're thinking about those of you, some of you have been with us your entire pre-K through 12 experience. Some have come in a little more recently, but again, celebrating you as seniors and representing your classmates. And again, some other good stuff we'll get into in about 6.5 weeks. We'll cover that. So parents, what we're going to do in just a moment, so you kind of know what we have going on. We're going to have all the seniors step forward. Principal Nerby will be at the podium. Right, he'll have some things to say. And once he kind of walks through honoring our honor graduates, we'll pause, and then I'll take a few group pictures for good old district Facebook. At that same time, those of you that would like to embarrass your son and or daughter, you know, at least one more time, although there should be more chances in the next month and a half, can also step forward and take a picture that might show up at your graduation party or whatnot. All right, so we'll make sure we have a chance for that. And then once that's taken care of, I will let Acting President Jennerjohn know to call a quick recess, at which point we'll pause the meeting. Board members will come around and congratulate all of our honored graduates. And then once we get through that in just a few minutes, we'll get ready to go back to the meeting, and then you have to be with us the rest of the night. Actually, no, you do not. Okay, we will let you know when we're wrapping that up, so you can head off to whatever it is you do when you're not normally sitting here, even though I'm sure the meeting will be very exciting and you'd love to stay. But that's how we'll kind of progress for the next roughly 5 to 10 minutes, just so you know what's coming and there isn't any awkward pause. Can we take a picture and or can we leave early? It'll be yes to both of those. Principal Nerby, you want to come on down? All right, so if we could have our honor graduates that were invited, I think we have a group of 13. Now, I think we've got a couple that couldn't make, or 1 or 2 that couldn't make it tonight, but you want to call them all down now, or do you want to go one at a time? I'll turn it over to
Yeah,
you.
what I'll do is I'll call them up by their name and they can come up here, line up, and then I'm gonna have them each kind of share what are their post-high school plans, but this is always really exciting. We're recognizing our high honor students. The 13 students that I will share with you today are all students who throughout their entire high school career have a 4.0 or above, so straight solid A's. Which is no easy task, as you can imagine and have probably lived through yourselves. I was so close to that when I was in high school. But really excited to honor these students here tonight. So I know some of them aren't here, so but I'm going to read their names because I think that they should be recognized for this outstanding achievement. So Tori Elder, Gavin Forrest. When I read your name, you can come on up. Mercedes Hanley. Jack Henry, Julia Kirk, Amelia Langfeld, Natalia Mahalski, Ellie Propson, Maddie Propson, Calvin Richard, Ben Stevens, Jade Tomberlin, and Garrett Ulberg. Each one of these students are going to be finishing, well, we calculated through their 7 semesters, there's 8 semesters, right? But we have to have a cutoff here. Have a 4.0 or above, like I had said, which are straight A's. So just congratulations, these are outstanding students. We're so proud. We talk about Clipper Pride. This is a great representation of who we're talking about and what we're talking about. So within that too, as I shared with this board, I think a couple months ago, this year we have 3 valedictorians, 3 students who all scored have the same highest GPA in the class. Mercedes Hanley, Natalia Mahalski, take a step forward, Stanley, and Jade Tomberlin. And then our salutatorian this year, Ben Stevens. Thank you. All right, so congratulations, students. This is awesome. A couple months ago, we did our academic awards as well, and so honor these students at that point. They will all receive gold cords that they received their gold cords, which they will wear at graduation to represent this. But I said something there, and I'm going to say it again here, because these students didn't do this alone. The families, the parents who helped these students, who supported these students, who saw them put in their blood, sweat, and tears, staying up late, working on all the things that they do. Thank you for your commitment and for what you've done. I'm sure they thank you as well for everything. So thank you. I'll have them go down and just kind of share what their plans are once they leave us here in 6.5 weeks.
I'll be going to NWTC to receive my paramedics license.
I'll be going to UW across to study microbiology.
I'm going to WashU in St. Louis to do business, whether that's finance or economics.
I'm going to UW Madison I'm not sure yet. I'm currently undecided as to where I will go, but I'll be studying humanity.
I'm going to UW Platteville for mechanical engineering.
I'm going to UW Madison for art education.
I'm going to University of Minnesota Twin Cities for chemical engineering.
So undecided as to where I'm going, but I'll be studying on the pre-med track. I'm going to University of Iowa and be studying chemistry.
I'm attending UW Platteville for civil engineering.
Thank you all again for everything that you've done, for your accomplishments. Really, it's been an honor to see you over the last 3 years, and it'll be fun to see you cross that stage here in 6.5 weeks. So, congratulations.
One of your graduation tests for tonight is, can you line up without too much adult direction to get your picture taken for Facebook? We have the diplomas with us tonight. We can shred yours if you can't figure it out.
No pressure.
That's right. They're making good progress, Principal Nervy.
There you go.
Parents who will want a photo, come on up, don't be shy. Take it back to you. Remember, I said it's okay that you come up and take the picture. We got the flag behind Kelvin. This is looking good.
That looks
All right, and here we go. I'll try a couple different.
They did a pretty nice job.
They did very well. Some years they need a little bit of help. Not you guys. Awesome. Go ahead, parents, slide in. Get them. It's a good looking group.
Do they want the board?
Yeah. I think they want your picture for your last board meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some get out of school quicker than I do, right? I'm still here. Oh, Jen, I know you love taking
I
pictures.
know, they nominated me.
You sure you got all the right angles
Yep,
here?
are they looking at me?
I will just say one more thing, not only, right, super high academic achieving students, but, having interacted some of the nicest kids, most polite students in this building. I say that as a principal who's seen them in the hallways, and honestly, as a parent of a freshman who, was with some of these, and the way they brought that freshman in and made him a part and welcomed him, it was, as a parent, a very proud moment as well. So just some great kids here, as you obviously know, but, really proud of them.
And again, thank you, parents, and congratulations to you as well. We'll hit you up again on graduation. I know some of you had probably more, or maybe in some cases less to do with the GPA they ended up earning, right? Depends, right? You guys can answer that how you want, but in all seriousness, right, all the students are, of course, a reflection not just of their community, but especially of their families. So congratulations and thanks to all of you. President Jenner, John, we can take a recess. Stay where you're, well, actually, you can probably spread out. Because everyone will come around and shake your hand. Absolutely, congratulations. Congratulations. And I get to do this again on graduation. That's even more fun. Right?
All right. I don't need to hit those things, do I?
You can bring us the visual back. Jen, it's all physical.
We are down to the consent agenda. Number one is to approve minutes. A, it's the regular meeting of March 2024. And B, the learning session meeting of April 3rd, 2024. Number two is approved March bills. A motion to approve the bills from last month will be recommended at the end of the consent agenda. Accept grants and donations. $115 was donated by Sean Wadier for the lunch program. $3,000 anonymous donation for Rock the Dock. $500 donation from Haynesville Lutheran Church Women's Group to support families with lunch balances owed. $645 from the Sturgeon Bay PTO for our kindergarten field trip to the new zoo. And an in-kind donation from Target for a pallet of ice melt. We'd like to thank everyone associated with providing the support to our district and our young people. And number four is to accept resignations and retirements. Amanda Cruzen has resigned from her registrar position in high school, and Drew Dumney has provided a revised date for his resignation of April 19th, 2024. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented is recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner House, second by Commissioner Wood, to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then on to the operations agenda.
Yes, thank you, Acting President Jenner John. The first item, consent agenda items requiring attention, is not needed tonight. We always list on the agenda just in case something needs to get pulled, even though that's quite rare. So we'll go on to number two, filing of the oath of office by our newly elected board members. We'll have you step forward in just a moment. I'll just read the short description. So we know the Board of Canvassers had met, as noted, a required step verifying the election. Again, obviously the city and the county know how to run the election, and those officers do a great job, but it's part of the process. So we work through that. And as you know, and have seen in different places, right, the new terms of office technically begin next Monday, April 22nd, 2024. As a quick reminder to anyone tracking this, that service typically kicks in the fourth Monday in April. All right, so Board Clerk Beth Chisholm will be administering the oath of office and swearing in our elected Board of Education members momentarily. So they're ready to officially begin their service next week. We know Angela Cruz, Kathy Meyer, and Wayne Spricka will serve 3-year terms expiring in April of 2027. And Damian Howard will serve a 2-year term expiring in April of 2026. And again, for anyone that hasn't been tracking that, that's really the follow-up to when Scott Elder was elected way back when, even though they had just moved outside of the district, right? Technically still in the city limits, but they were outside the district. And so then Wayne Spricka ended up getting appointed to the first year. And again, Damian's going to serve the next 2, right? So certainly want to congratulate our newly elected and returning board members, as well as anyone that has expressed interest not only in running for school board, as I wrote in my report, but any local office, city, county, state, federal, etc. And we'll also pause as we get ready to do this and point out Commissioner Roger Wood is serving in his last board meeting tonight. And Roger, you mentioned 20 years ago.
20 years ago this month.
This month?
My first board meeting.
Was your first ever board meeting, right? So I know we recognized Roger last month, as we know, but for we have a little bit of an audience here, a few people I watch online, right? So we congratulated Roger and thanked him for his service last month, right? 20 years, right? So he was on for a while, off. Sometime after I was hired. You were on the board when I was hired, Roger, right?
Yes, I was.
So if I mess up, it's partially your fault, as we joke
Well,
over the
maybe
years.
not.
Yeah, that's
how I voted.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We joke about that too.
Let's not go there.
And then Roger was good to show interest and return to the board, right? And now he'll be involved in another board that involves some more travel and whatnot, which is, as you know, what pulled him away from the school board. So again,
And I
thanks.
don't know if you got a chance to talk to her, but former Commissioner Stevenson commented on your being here and that he's still on the board. Well, he took a brief pause, but he came back.
Cool.
Appreciate it too.
All right, so should we have, let's have Angie and Kathy and Wayne and Damian step forward. I think we'll probably, I don't remember, we usually just kind of put you up front here. Well, all cameras will pick you up. Why don't we put you up by the podium, and then Beth's gonna come around and walk you through the oath of office. I'll take a picture while we do our thing.
All right, we're going to do all of you together. Thank you for serving. Thank you for winning. You could raise your right hand. I state your name.
Wayne
Having been appointed to the Sturgeon Bay School District Board of Education,
Having been appointed to the Sturgeon Bay School District Board of Education.
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
of said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
We can give a round of applause there. No. You're still on. Kathy knows she's officially up on Monday. That's right. All right. Again, thank you and congratulations. Coming up, we have the number 3, appoint delegate to the CISA 7 annual convention. And again, CISA stands for Cooperative Educational Service Agency. We know that CISA 7 headquarters are in Green Bay, serving our part of the state. So each board has a statutory duty to appoint a member as its representative for the purpose of determining the composition of the Board of Control and to cause a convention to be convened according with that state statute reference. Delegate for the last 2 years has been Beth Chisholm. So the delegate convention will be held on Wednesday, May 22nd this spring. There at CISA 7, you see the address at Baton Road. And then a motion to appoint a representative to the CISA 7 annual convention is recommended. So at this point, I'll pause. Acting President Jen or John, if we want to twist anyone's arm, whether to consider continuing to serve or thinking about it.
I would
Or-
love for someone else to have the opportunity.
There we go.
And I would love to do it, but I will be on an airplane, so.
That's a pretty good excuse, I
That
guess.
is,
Any thoughts? Or,
You wish you could do
that's right, yeah, Roger would have volunteered. He'll probably be at a different meeting, actually. So we've got that, and when all else fails, you do have a brand new, at least new to us, school board member coming in who, I don't know if Kathy would argue, but she may have something else going that night, I'm not sure.
can you,
Is it a night thing?
it is the night thing.
It's an evening thing, it usually starts, what is it? There's an official, no, in Green Bay,
6:30 PM.
there it
Can you
is,
also-
6:30 PM start.
What does it typically involve? Like, is it just to show up and listen and?
Yeah. Basically, all the member districts / school boards are supposed to have a rep.
You can certainly have.
It's not the CISA 7 police of, even if someone says, I'm planning to go and something comes up at the last minute, the board's not in trouble per se. There's refreshments provided, it says right in the official. They anticipate the meeting being between 45 and 60 minutes.
I think I can do it.
Thank
All right.
I would like to nominate Allison Holmes.
Multiple seconds.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Chisholm and a second by Commissioner Sturgeon to appoint Commissioner House as our representative for the CISA 7 annual convention. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we'll go on to operations agenda item number 4, annual item, approve individual contracts for returning teachers. A couple notes I can make, but I'll just read this brief description for anyone tracking this. So again, board, you have heard this from me a number of times by this point in the year, each year. State of Wisconsin requires returning teacher contracts to be issued by May 15th of each year, as noted in budget preparation for this year. And in our recent school board learning session, et cetera, we'll have teachers progress to the next rung on the salary ladder, as we've discussed. And again, Jake's been through those projections with you multiple times. Annual reminders on this topic simply include the following. So returning teachers are defined as those teachers who are not retiring or resigning at some point, whether this point during the year or end of the year. Returning teachers are not teachers whose positions are not continuing next year, either because of a temporary position or because the position's being eliminated. Additionally, as the board has discussed in the past, it doesn't happen often, but it has occurred. A teacher on a plan of assistance does not move to the next rung on the salary ladder. So a motion to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers is recommended. I will pause as well in case anyone in our in-person audience or online sees a piece of paper. All the board members have here is an alphabetical listing of our teachers. So as they give this annual approval, they specifically can see any of the teachers, kind of the title of their position, the base salary, if they have a master's degree or not, and what the total is. So really, that's just that one sheet, 2-pager. And again, board members, you've seen this before. So again, coming back, Acting President Jenner-John. So again, we have a motion to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers recommended.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the individual teaching contracts for all returning teachers.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schultz. Second by Commissioner Chisholm to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next up, item 5, approve sub-caller position. This is one of those things we would sometimes put under business manager / HR person Jake Holtz, but as you'll see in the name, or most of you have already seen, probably not appropriate that he reads over this for us or that it comes through him. So I'm stepping in instead, recommending Jessica Holtz for the position of sub-caller for our district. Some of you already know that she has worked previously for the district as a family consumer education teacher over at TJ Walker Middle School. Now her duties would center around filling those short notice vacancies created by staff when calling in an absence of less than 24 hours notice, right? So principals and secretaries are still involved when a teacher knows that they have to have an appointment with a child or something days and weeks out. This is that short-term piece. Angie Anderson served us very well in this capacity for a period of time, and then stepping out of the position around spring break. So far, Jess has kind of subbed in, if you will, as the sub-caller, and now, right, pending official approval tonight. So I'll finish the note here. A motion to approve Jessica Holtz as our sub-caller for the district is recommended.
And I have a motion.
I move to approve Jessica Holtz as the sub-caller for the district.
Second.
I have Commissioner Cruz and a second by Commissioner Howard to approve Jessica Holtz as a sub-caller for the district. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. No? Okay.
Motion second. Yep.
Motion second. Okay,
Did we ask for a post? Sorry.
yeah, we
And
did.
then we did.
Yep.
All right, perfect. I didn't think we would, but just so we don't skip over that, my bad. All right, moving on to the next item, approving a kitchen employee. So food service director Jenny Spoody recommends Jordy Angelova for a position in our food service program. Jordy is a parent of 2 Sturgeon Bay School District students and has experience in food service production, purchasing, and supervising. The food service team is excited to welcome her as a new team member. So motion to approve Jordy Angelova as food service staff member is recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve Jordanka Angelova as a food service staff member.
Second.
It's a second.
Wood,
We have,
Mr. Wood. Mr. Wood.
we have a motion by Commissioner House, second by Commissioner Wood to approve Jordanka Angelova as our food service staff member. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to number 7.
Approve a maintenance employee. As you know, it's been hard getting the maintenance department to full staff, and it seems the moment we get someone to full staff, someone gets injured or different things have happened, right? But I know John Sullivan and the team are excited to have someone to recommend tonight. So Building and Grounds Director John Sullivan recommends Cindy Delchambray for the general custodian position vacancy we have. Cindy grew up and graduated here in Door County. After spending a few years out of state, she's returned to the area. Cindy has worked in various maintenance and cleaning positions since moving back to Door County and will be a valued asset to our maintenance team. A motion to approve Cindy Delchambray as a general custodian in the maintenance department is recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve Cindy Delchambray as general custodian in the maintenance department.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Howard, second by Commissioner Chisholm to approve Cindy Delchambray as a general custodian in the maintenance department. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. To number 8.
Yes, we've got, it'll actually end, we have 5 noticed in case principals had people to recommend. We'll end up recommending candidates for 3 of those positions. I'll walk you through as we typically do, especially in the spring as things develop. So I'll go with 8A, which is our middle school English language arts teacher, Brenna Rasmussen. Ms. Brenna Rasmussen is a 2023 Lawrence University graduate with a Bachelor of Arts degree majoring in English literacy analysis. Ms. Rasmussen's professor, Stephanie Burdick Shepard, shared that Brenna loves teaching and her extensive elementary experience has prepared her well. Ms. Rasmussen did her student teaching at Appleton West Johnson Elementary, and her cooperating teacher shared that Brenna is a hard worker, has a great work ethic, and is very personable. Ms. Rasmussen's goal as a new teacher is to create a safe environment that allows all students to try new things, make mistakes, and learn from those experiences. She's been visiting Door County throughout her life and has family in both Egg Harbor and in Sister Bay. So from Principal Small, a motion to approve Brenna Rasmussen as a middle school ELA teacher beginning with the 2024-25 school year is recommended.
Make a motion to approve Brenda Rasmussen as a middle school ELA teacher beginning with the 2024-2025 year.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner House, second by Commissioner Sprika to approve Brenna Rasmussen as a middle school ELA teacher beginning with the 2024-2025 school year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Is she going to be, one of the 8th grade ELA teachers is gonna take part-time or leave for part of the year? Is she gonna fill the 8th grade spot?
For this spring, middle school, working with, of course, their principal, Mark Smullen, they met, I think it was the first week right after spring break, right? Or you just want to take care of that? Yeah, just pop up just in case someone's interested, but yeah, no, she's not starting yet. They've got a little plan they put together. She'll start next fall, but go ahead, Mark.
Mark Smullen. No, we met as a team how to support the person. We have a backup plan. We are bringing Sally Guger, former art teacher that worked in our school for 5 years. She is coming back out of retirement, helping us out. She's been subbing in our district art room. She has several projects she's and we have all the curriculum all set to go that Mr. Demi would be getting normally. And she will finish it up. And then in a couple of days, she's gonna be gone. Mrs. Jandrin and Mrs. Grakowski are gonna step in and cover those classes. So we have it all covered at this point. So I'm pretty confident in how it's gonna be.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I think my question was more about next year for 8th grade, because Miss Judas is gonna be there for part-time.
That we would have a long-term substitute on the social studies.
Okay, and then the long-term sub coming. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
I'm ready to go.
All right.
8B, we'll hear more probably on middle school special ed, I would imagine next month. Possibly as early as special approval the night of the May 1st learning session, right? As board members review for some, new for others, we don't take any action actually in the learning sessions, but sometimes in the kind of that May, June window, typically May, if we have a candidate or more that we want to approve, so that doesn't have to wait till the regular meeting a couple weeks later. We don't want to risk losing a candidate that end of the year. Sometimes we have special approvals then just on those types of things. All right, so stay tuned on middle school special ed. Next up, and you're going to hear a little bit more about the Door County Alternative Program, like an update, how it's going this year for next year. Lindsay's going to address that in her report later in the evening. But for now, she has secured, in fact, we just heard back from the candidate this afternoon to step into the role for next year. So I'll go to the notes. Director of Special Education and Pupil Services, Director Lindsay Ferry is pleased to recommend Scott Crumsey for our Door County Alternative Program teacher position. Scott received his bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in political science and subsequently earned his master's degree in restorative practices from the International Institute of Restorative Practices. Scott has been a teacher within the West Oakland School District out in California for 14 years, with 5 of those years spent leading Roots Academy, one of Oakland's largest alternative programs. While the move is daunting for him and his family, he shares that they all are eager to move back to Wisconsin to be closer to family and friends, and he's excited about growing the Door County Alternative Program, right, or DCAP for short, for our district, and again, the students and family it serves. A motion to approve Scott Crumsey as the Door County Alternative Program teacher beginning with the 2024-2025 school year is recommended.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Scott Crumsey as the Door County Alternative Program teacher beginning with the 2024-25 school year.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Howard, second by Commissioner House, to approve Scott Crumsey as the Door County Alternative Program teacher beginning with the 2024-2025 school year.
All those will hop in here super quick. Anyone have a question about that, at least for now? Yeah, no, you're all good. Again, Lindsay's gonna talk more about it. You've heard updates before, right? The partnership with Boys and Girls Club in the county and all those good things that are going on. But I thought I was gonna say it before and then I missed as I finished reading the notes, but otherwise, if not, go ahead.
All in
President Jeff.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. To
8D, the high school English vacancy. Principal Nerby and the team talked to some good candidates, however, we're not at a point where we're ready to approve one of them tonight. So hold on, we'll see if we've got something in as little as 2 weeks or if the search needs to get expanded as we get later in the hiring season. 8A, Sawyer School first grade. So last month we approved, or the board approved the resignation of one of our longtime teachers over there. Who's going to be staying home with kids. So now we have the replacement for her. So Principal Katie DeVillers is pleased to recommend Brinley Gordon for a first grade teacher position over at Sawyer Elementary School, starting with the 2024-25 school year. Brinley graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay with a degree in early childhood education. She's been a kindergarten teacher in the Wisconsin Rapids School District, a special education and 4K teacher associate at Sawyer, and a teacher substitute in 4K through 2nd grade. Most recently, she took on a long-term 4K teaching substitute position for us over at Sawyer. Brinley's professionalism, willingness to learn, and great compassion for her students stands out as some of her best qualities. We are excited for her to join the first grade team at Sawyer. So a motion to approve Brinley Gordon as a first grade teacher at Sawyer School beginning with the 2024-25 school year is recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve Brinley Gordon as the first grade teacher at Sawyer School beginning 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Sprika, second by Commissioner Schultz to approve Brinley Gordon as the first grade teacher at Sawyer School beginning with the 2024-2025 school year. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, going on number 9 for some teacher associate positions. We've got a couple of them listed for us for tonight. Special education teacher associate Kayla Londo Director of Special Education, Pupil Services, Lindsay Ferry, and Principal Katie DeVillers are pleased to recommend Kayla Londo for the Special Education Teacher Associate position at Sawyer Elementary School. Kayla has experience working with children in daycare setting and has a passion for helping students with disabilities. Kayla is excited to join the Sawyer team and begin her special education career. Motion to approve Kayla Londo as a Special Education Teacher Associate at Sawyer School is recommended.
I move to approve Kayla Londo as a special education teacher associate at Sawyer School.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Chisholm, second by Commissioner House, to approve Kayla Londo as a special education teacher associate at Sawyer School. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next up, 9B, we've had a little bit of shifting. You actually heard a little bit about with an earlier approval. So we now have someone to step in at Sawyer here, Lynette Tank. Principal Katie DeVillers and Director of Special Education and Pupil Services, Lindsay Ferry, are pleased to welcome or to recommend Lynette Tank for the Safe Harbor Teacher Associate position there at Sawyer Elementary School. Lynette has experience working with children with disabilities at a young age and has multiple years of experience providing care in a daycare setting. Lynette is excited to transition into a school setting and eager to help all of our students have success at Sawyer Elementary School. A motion to approve Lynette Tank as a Safe Harbor Teacher Associate at Sawyer is recommended.
I move to approve Lynette Tank as the Safe Harbor Teacher Associate at Sawyer School.
We have a motion by Commissioner Cruz, second by Commissioner Sprika, to approve Lynette Tank as the Safe Harbor Teacher Associate at Sawyer School. Are there any comments or questions? All those members say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last item before going to reports and tonight's closed session, as the board knows, we don't have closed session very often, but that's part of our usual April meeting, is an informational item on our school safety drill summaries. Again, no board action needed here. Again, the board has seen this many times, but for anyone tracking this, while school districts are required to conduct at least one school safety drill per year, you've heard from us a number of times how we typically hold safety drills at least quarterly, right? We know that there are monthly drills that occur, but also appropriate quarterly safety drills. Our belief is that this should be done at the school level in a manner that's appropriate for young people as well as their parents and staff members at that building, right? So what happens at the high school at times might be a little different than Sawyer, and that's perfectly developmentally appropriate, right? We don't have some of those things we've all seen in the news with active shooter drills and some other things where research on that is frankly not that helpful. Included with the meeting packet are those various reports. And again, it's just a chance to remind the board and the public tracking this, that school safety continues to be a priority, even as other aspects of overall safety of students, families, and staff are considered, right? We've addressed school entrances in recent years and all those types of things. So again, just an informational item that, along with really the kind of the annual school safety requirements from the state, says that yes, our schools do that. We'll share a report. That's really all I have there, President Jen or John, unless someone has a question.
Okay, then we're on to reports.
Principal Nerby from the high school is coming back this direction.
Yeah. Oh. There was a spreadsheet on you. I'm gonna keep with the theme that we started tonight, where we talked about the celebrations and recognized students, because a few more recognitions, and actually some of the students that were up here earlier that I just want to share with the board and the people listening and watching. We have a few students who are excelling yet again. Natalie Mahalski, who you saw up here earlier, has been selected as a 2024 Herb Cole Student Excellence Scholarship recipient. This is no easy feat. It's extremely high honor, and she will receive a $10,000 scholarship for that. So pretty exciting. We also have two students who've been selected into the 2025 National Merit Scholarship Program. Julie Mahalski and Luke Sully both scored in the top at least 3.5% of all students who participated in the SAT test. And to give you an idea, there's 1.3 million people who took the SAT this past year. And then we have one student, Jade Tomerlin, who advanced to the finalists. So she's a National Merit Scholarship finalist, scoring the top 1%. So just a lot of really great things from a lot of really great students happening here at the high school and in our district. I also wanted to share some exciting news. Several months ago, Mrs. O'Hanley and I met with representatives from UW Green Bay to discuss a program called Rising Phoenix. Rising Phoenix is a groundbreaking collaboration between school districts and UW Green Bay to provide students with the option of being dual enrolled. In this program, students would actually earn their high school diploma and their 2-year associate's degree at the same time. Many schools are starting to do this as a new program, and it's right now funded through grants. And we have 3 students who will be participating here from Sturgeon Bay High School for this upcoming school year. They are students going into their junior year, so it's a 2-year program. They will graduate with a high school diploma and 2 years of their college finished. And that's actually transferable to all schools in Wisconsin, except for Madison, of course, because they have to do their own thing. But I'm really excited to offer that opportunity to our students and our families. So that's really cool. And then finally, today we finished our pre-ACT testing of freshmen and sophomores. That puts an end to the high school's state mandated testing for the year. We've had a long couple of weeks here. Last week was the ACT, we did the forward yesterday, and the pre-ACT today. Just a huge shout out to our staff who worked really hard all year, helping our students through different interventions and coursework, and really to help get them prepared. So excited to have that and looking forward to the results, which we should be getting in actually within the next several weeks. So what we got going on? Yeah.
Is it juniors only that can participate in that Rising Phoenix?
Yeah, so it's only students who are going into their junior year.
I also have a question about that.
Yeah.
Are they doing the classes online or are they providing their own transportation to Green Bay? And how, if so, how often?
Yeah, great question. So it's actually offered both ways. We are participating through, they got a special grant for rural districts, which we are considered. And so our students are actually all doing it virtually. They'll be here on site their junior year, but they will be taking the classes virtually. They do offer the option of taking them in person on site as well.
Just, okay.
Yeah.
Is some of this getting into our new newsletter that's going in the paper and publishing some of these really great high achieving things?
Some of that's very exciting and classified, Commissioner Strick, Lieutenant Pauls has it. But yeah, no, we have a whole committee of people that have been working on that. And again, Allison, as your board rep, has done a great job helping me get things.
Yeah.
So kind of the buildings prioritized, and then so what we've done, we've already identified like the articles we believe will go out with the current version, which is just about ready to send off to the Pulse for their first look, some items for next fall, et cetera. So what exactly is in the final list? I have to look back at our final list, right? I don't think we have a piece yet on Rising Phoenix, because that came up pretty recently and was pretty targeted on what Keith was working on with families. But yeah,
There's
there's
just the accomplishment.
good news items.
Some
Yeah.
super students that,
Yeah.
I don't want to say we do a bad job, but we don't always do a great job of our
Marketing.
high achieving
Yep.
education, right? The way we do sports in America, right?
So as I
just need more recognition.
example I used from my 20s when I was a high school English teacher and boys basketball coach, as opposed to this past winter, so I should come up with a new example now maybe, right? Was after every game, I was asked to report the results on how the Nakusa boys basketball team did, right? Never once was I asked to report the results publicly on how my high school English students did on, you fill it in, the Romeo and Juliet exam, the whatever. It's just your point about sports in America is point made. So I think we try to share those things when we can. And again, you see kids like tonight, right? What a wonderful reminder. You know, what media and whatnot sometimes picks up versus other things varies.
Right, it's not.
I can tell you that, you know, I'm certain, right? So I already texted Spencer, the group shot, right, of those kids. That type of post for us typically gets a lot of shares and loves, not just from the family members, but people in general. Oh, I can't believe so-and-so is a senior, you know, congrats. So I mean, a lot of that stuff does, but yeah, no matter what it is that happens, I think people like you and me and others in this room would wish, oh, I wish it was 1,000 times more.
Good. I'm glad you're doing it, because I know you have a vested interest.
We haven't sent it either, and maybe it is, we could revisit it and see if there's space for that, because we haven't, it's not like final yet,
Sure.
so maybe we can put some, like a little picture and recognition in.
Some of the accomplishments of the 1%, 3%.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
That was.
Yeah.
That's kind of what where I'm getting at, like to make sure the community knows, because some people are listening, but
Yeah.
some.
Most people have no idea how the national merit, I mean, you did a nice job, Keith, summarizing that, but most people, again, I know this from my principal
Big deal.
years, have no idea how that works. And honestly, in the upper Midwest, the SAT is not that big here, right? If you're going East Coast, West Coast, then it is. So unless you're kind of aware of the National Merit Scholarship Program, or you have a, a son, daughter, whatnot, who is like, well, this child is gonna be a really high student, we want them to do the SAT in addition to the ACT that, all their classmates take. There's a lot involved. Anything you would add to that, Principal Irving?
No, I would agree. Most of the students who are taking the SAT around us are doing it primarily for the National Merit Scholarship, because it's just not a very popular test in the Midwest. But, yeah, I would say, I mean, we don't, in my career, this is my, 22nd year in education, 15th year, in principalship, and, very few National Merit finalists. It is not an easy feat by any means. So that is very exciting. So getting that out, I agree. It's always in the training.
Even the commended student level, right?
Yeah.
That we would know.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
still really,
That is-
really,
that
really
is
good.
Very good, yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you.
sharing.
All right, Principal Mark Smullen coming on down. We'll see how he follows up to Principal Nervy's report. Although I think he's got excitement stuff like Junior Honor Society and some other cool things happening at TJ
I
Walker.
mean, let's take what you're talking about, right? So good things
Stealing your
academically. What's that?
He's stealing your thunder.
I'm setting him
Oh,
up.
he said it's a setup. So I'm gonna hit this one for you. So we have, we're getting, so the high school has National Honor Society. We're putting in place the National Junior Honor Society to help encourage academics, right? Social service, all these good things that we want to see kids be involved with in school and communities. So we had 87 kids qualified, 50 were admitted into the Honor Society that's going to be held on May 6th, Monday night in the auditorium at 6:30 p.m. They're going to select their officers after this meeting, and then they're going to set what you'll start seeing from the middle school with this group, similar to, in a sense, like the ambassadors from Sunrise. They're going to start setting, the kids are going to select what the programs they're going to, or the community projects they're going to put to place in the fall and in the spring. And so they have to be involved in these things, serve the community, keep up their grades, reapply. And then we hope to hopefully grow this, it's like we had 80 plus apply this time and 50 join. Hopefully we can have over 100 qualify for next year and try to see those numbers rise and improve, our commitment in getting involved in our schools and our community. So that's a great thing to see. And that, you're going to see those kids that are involved in this, they're going to be the ones standing here, that'll be the group of 10 and their parents that are helping push them, get that application. Because it's the first time they got to get an application in, right? They got to complete this in a timely manner and put in a written piece. So these are things that they're going to have to do, and we're going to celebrate that. Those are all the good things that's going to be going on. All the good things, we met with, I think, Principal DeVillers and I met with Vinnie Shulman from Friends of Gibraltar. She has helped set us up so we can take kids in our band, our choir, and some of our grade level programs up to the Door County Auditorium throughout the year. That's only for the price of $5 a child. What a great opportunity this is. It's something we want to get involved in, and eventually I can see this grow, and there's a lot of things that can happen with this, but to get FaceTime with Minnie was huge. That was something we've been looking for her for years, and now we had it. So that'll be a great thing for us. We've been successful in some of our math meets. We've seen kids like Megan Selly, Violet Boyarsky, Atticus House. They've all earned medals in one of our math meets, our Door County math meet. Our team took second overall as a school. Our school took second overall, and the teams took 5th and 7th. I mentioned our honor society. I mentioned we had, so I saw yourself there, Mike Stefani. We were all at, over 400 meals were served at Clifford Clay's. What a great event that Matt Propson and company put on for that. As parents, as I'm wrapping up here, just want to get you tomorrow, the 19th, April 19th is a huge day. Summer school, and we need you to apply. Get those applications in so you can register your child in for summer school. And then we're going to in turn send out the confirmation for summer classes on May 13th. But we need you to get your children involved in, great athletics, great classes at the elementary, middle school programs. These are things that we want to grow this program, great opportunities to be involved. So please do that. And in closing, just want to say our track meet that was scheduled for next Thursday has been moved to Friday at Algoma. And then, so you're going to see those track meets, DC trip. They're going to have a chaperone meetings May 1st. And then shortly after that, they're going to have the parents meeting with all the kids as they get ready to take off to DC. So a lot of good things coming up here as we head into May. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Principal Katie Smullen, come on down. Hear about Sunrise Elementary and exciting things happening across the street.
Yes, thank you. Well, we are also just finishing up forward testing this week, so I was really excited. I had written in my written board report about the high school students who came to visit for our pump up assembly. We had the drum line through the hallways, and then the high school basketball players came, and we recognized Kids for Growth, and it had an impact. Like the teachers were like, the kids really were taking their time. I mean, of course, it's all the hard work that goes into it, but I feel like they gave a really nice push. One of the gentlemen here tonight, who was one of the basketball players, got an email from one of our students to ask him to review his essay because he just told me that tonight, Calvin Richard, and he's like, I'm gonna review it. I'm like, that is so kind. I'm like, so I think more than just like, hey, do well on this test. It's like these kids who are so busy took the time to come and talk to us. It's important. We're important. What we do is important. And yeah, they worked really hard. It's not all about the test, but we know they're going to be taking tests throughout their lives. We want them to take their time, do it well, show what they know. So we're really, anyway, we're really thankful for the high school, everyone working together on that. Steam night is coming up. That's tomorrow night. We have the Eagle 2 helicopter landing. We are releasing that information. And so the kids are.
I was gonna say, I was sworn to secrecy.
I know. Well, it's confirmed unless there's a medical emergency. So just so the neighbors of Sunrise know we're not under attack, like we sent a letter, like it's the helicopter. So it's going to be, I think, very exciting. And so many local businesses are helping us for this steam night. So we're just really excited to make that happen. And the helicopter is cool that's coming.
There's also going to be a really cool poster about mining.
Yes, there is. Thank you, Dr. Haas. There's a Spitzer there. There's gonna be a NASA, I don't know, the drone, Spencer's there with his drone. Epic night. So 5:30 tomorrow. It's really everyone working together. And thank you for presenting. That'll be great. And then two final things, but Let's Go Door County honored a group of fourth graders who worked for months on this Rubik's Cube artwork. So they solved many Rubik's Cubes to create this piece of art that will hang in our hallway for years. And figured out the algorithm, figure out it says Clippers with a ship. It wasn't how they wanted it. They switched it around. So Jenny Rabas was the teacher who led it, but yeah, they did a great job with Let's Go Door County. This group of fourth graders worked really hard. So I was really proud that we were acknowledged that way. And we're looking forward to summer school, and then we figured out our schedule for next year, bringing in spring math, which we learned from Sawyer. They have seen great results, so we're doing that, and we figured out our schedule, which is a big win, not an easy task. So that's what's happening at Sunrise.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Where are they landing the helicopter?
They're landing it on our playground.
Oh, wow. Okay. That'll be huge.
Yeah. We went caution tape, we're doing all the things, so I hope no medical emergency, so it'll be there. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
That steam night, as Katie DeVillers, Principal DeVillers comes forward, but some of you might recall the history. I mean, that was one of those really neat school community collaborations that really was getting some good momentum before COVID. I mean, like separate from some of the stuff you hear from Keith Nerby or myself about, youth apprentice connections and businesses and a lot of good stuff that's taken off there in recent years. But this, getting businesses in at Sunrise, and I know there was overlap from Sawyer too, going back a number of years. that was one of those really cool things I remember seeing a number of years ago when, Gabby Now Junior was in elementary school, how people were coming together and getting excited about various STEM, and other things. And that was super cool. So it's great that post-COVID, they kind of relaunched it, if you will, in the last couple of years, and glad that's still happening. So thanks to everybody involved in that. Principal DeVillers, good evening.
Hi, everyone. Let me start by saying there's a lot happening to wrap up the year at Sawyer. First of all, the last big push for instruction and intervention. Teachers are working really hard, even though there was indoor recess today and that affects kids, but they're working hard and getting the stuff done that they need to support kids academically. We have an upcoming vertical data dig that I may have mentioned before coming up on the in-service day in May to just see how kids are doing at the very end. That helps us to do some placing and supporting early on next year. We have a literacy event for our students and families coming up on April 23rd from 4:30 to 5:30. You're all welcome and be fun, just reading with kids and doing activities and hanging out with them. Also planning for next year. Katie mentioned about schedules. Schedules are something you look at every year, and we firmed up our schedules, a lot of our schedules, intervention schedules, special schedules, some things always change, but those are set. And staffing is coming along. We just have 2 more people we need to hire, a Safe Harbor associate and in the library, or a teacher associate in the library. So I'm really pleased we're that far along at this time of the year. I think that's all I actually had. I just wanted to say that Sawyer, when you walk in, the culture, we were talking about it today at the admin meeting. Every year at this time of year, we kind of think about and assess how it's going. And I would say that this year, and we got to spend some time with us, Roger, that people are still positive and enjoying every single day, even indoor recess days, and having a great time. So I just wanted to say the culture there is just something that I'm really proud of. And I think the hardworking teachers they are the culture, and they're making a real positive difference there with our families and our kids. So going really well. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
As we transition, right, a reminder to board members or newer to some, right, that wasn't just a building or cost savings for the community closing Sunset School. We knew that bringing the old Sunset School and I'll say the old Sawyer School together under the new Sawyer, right, it was really going to be a different school, and it was going to be a journey over a few years to kind of really figure some things out. And that crew continues to work at it. So good news. Director Ferry, what do you have for us? I know you have some decaf stuff because you told me that today.
But fun fact, my husband flew not on Eagle 2, but Eagle 3. And so I've had a lot of experience with the medical helicopters, and it was all fun and games until the Ferry family decided to start having kids, and then it was a no-go. So it'll be cool for the kids to see. But yeah, my job tonight is to share with you a little bit about DCAP, the Door County Alternative Program. So we are nearing the end of our first full year of implementation. We spent a full year planning. This is our first year in business. So to summarize for you, we had 4 students enrolled from Sunrise Elementary School, 1 student from the middle school, and then actually we're ending the year with no middle school students, but taking in 1 and potentially an extra high school student. So not designed for high school, but high school students being enrolled because we of course want to fill it. By rough estimates, because I know money talks and we're in a business that things cost money, right? Conservatively speaking, we probably, I'm anywhere between $150,000 to $170,000 that we've saved this year in housing our own students at the Door County Alternative Program. So I know I've spoken to you a little bit about the costs of alternative program in the past. It's anywhere from $6,000 per month to, we've paid upwards to $13,000 per month for students to go attend different alternative programs. So it is not only beneficial for our students because we're able to house them in district, we're able to provide the supports they need without transporting them an hour to Green Bay, an hour back from Green Bay. But it's something that we're building and we're building together. So I'm very proud of that. And of those numbers, 2 of our kiddos from Sunrise have actually transitioned back from DCAP this year. So that was like the true testament, right? We can take them out of their traditional school, we can take them over to DCAP, we can do all of our work with them, but can we get them back in successfully? And so 2 of those 6 students have made it back in this year. The remaining 3 are scheduled to return back to school in the fall of 2024. So we're going to watch them transition back once they've completed the program. So due to the success really of this first year, our team is looking to expand, and I've talked to you about that a little bit. Next year, we're going to be accepting students in grades 3 through 8 for both behavioral support and new next year, also academic support. So this year, we've only focused on those behaviors, coping strategies, self-regulation, interoception, learning your body and how it feels when you're angry, when you're upset. But now we're also going to hit those academics so that when students do return to the academic setting, they're not any further behind than when they left. And so we know that's part of the anxiety of going back to school is now I'm behind. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're covering. We're going to do both next year. So students will be with us for full days. They're going to continue to receive mental health support, community experiences, and again, further academic support to promote that individual development. Additionally, we're jumping a year of our expansion plan, and we're also opening our doors to our neighbors. So we are promoting this program to accept applications from our neighbors, whether they're in our county or outside of our county. Any student in grades 3 through 8, regular education students and special education students, we're going to be able to tailor and customize a plan for students and supports that they need. Lastly, our team is going to continue to work collaboratively, with Door County Health and Human Services, as well as the Boys and Girls Club. And I'd really like to point out that without either agency and partnership, we know that several of our student options wouldn't even be possible. Boys and Girls Club is giving us more space next year to expand, helping us design the programming options based on the space we have. And in collaboration with Door County Health and Human Services, we also know we were awarded that $100,000 grant. So a lot of the funding for this program is coming via that grant. We're thankful again for the opportunity this year. I know when you look at those numbers and you're like, 6 kids in the program, you see the financial output with it, but you also know that we got a really good solid year to figure out what we're doing, what works, what doesn't work, so that when we do enroll more students next year, we're going to be better prepared. And I don't want to forget, Sky Skinner is our current Door County alternative education teacher. She is not coming back in this capacity next year. She's actually moving back to Madison. She's a trained OT. She realized that she really wants to be an OT, occupational therapist. And so she's moving back to Madison with her partner. But I really want it to go on a record that this program wouldn't be as far along without her running it this year. She's really done a fantastic job. A big thank you to her. And again, thank you for approving Scott tonight, because he's coming in with a whole another wealth of knowledge that we don't have, that I'm really excited to welcome him to. So thank you very much.
Before you step away, Lindsay, one of the items I know you've talked about with the board, but maybe a reminder for them as well as audience, whether in person or online, the concept of as students come in, you've mentioned enrollment. We know what that means, but you want to just briefly overview, like they still have the connection to their home district and, the district will be paying our district. You want to walk through that?
Yeah, good question. So what we're going to do is students will remain enrolled in their home district. And I'll use Southern Door, for example. If they are looking for alternative options for students, that student will still be enrolled in Southern Door School District, but we'll create a contract for them based on that student needs and really targeting those, behaviors, whether it's specialized instruction, occupational therapy, speech and language support, whatever that student needs. And then that contract will be developed so that the district signs it, and then they pay a monthly tuition rate for that student to attend our alternative program. And then we decide, when that student has met their goals that we create together, and then we help transition that student back. So one of the really cool things we're trying to do is that we're not just, oh, we're done 6 months, it's time to go back. We do that transition with the student. So we're staffed well enough. So when a student is ready to go back into that learning environment, we go with them and their team comes to us. So they learn all of the strategies and all of the skills that we've been doing that work with the student. And then we can help generalize those skills in their learning environment with the hope that they're able to now make it through an entire school day.
Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions?
Yeah, do you have any sense from other districts, like how many students might be participating?
Yeah, good question. So I think it was what, October? I think I made it till maybe the end of October when all 4 of our county schools had reached out to me asking if they could send students to our alternative program this year. And so I had to tell them no, we're not accepting applications. And that was with very little marketing. And so I think it's gonna be a lot of my work this summer is talking about who we are, what we do, what we specialize in. Offering special education support as part of our program is going to be something unique to us. There aren't any options in Green Bay that do offer that specialized instruction with the related service options. So that's something that I'm trying to tailor just to us, in addition to the community connection. So all of our students have to graduate by giving back to the community. So they make a community service project. Our students right now are doing a drive for the Humane Society. And so that's their graduation project, that they have to learn where they live, how they can connect to the community, and then how they can give back. In a sense, and the goal is that as they get older, right, they remember these things and they remember and support the community they grew up in. Other question? Okay, more to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Weber, come on down. Tell us, any updates from teaching, learning, and technology?
I don't know how I can top that. That's good news. But in keeping with the theme of celebrations, there are a couple that I'd like to share with you from the Teaching, Learning, and Technology Department. You heard multiple people mention testing season, the ACT, pre-ACT, board exam. And as we finish that up, I can pretty much guarantee that there are few people more grateful for being at the end of that than the people in the tech department. So as you can imagine, none of those things can happen without the people working at the belly of the school here, setting up those devices, making sure that our network supports all of that, and then troubleshooting, because no matter what, there's trouble sometimes. And I'm really so very grateful for the team that I work with to make sure that all of those things get taken care of. So hooray for testing being over. The DPI is assuring us that this year we will receive preliminary reports as to how our students did prior to the end of this school year. That's not something that has been true in the past, so I'm looking forward to that. So, I mean, most importantly, we can celebrate with our students this year instead of waiting, right, till we start school next year. And that's a really tough situation. So I'm looking forward to that. We have been working really hard also on preparing for our May 24th in-service, not only for PD and work time for our staff, but some wellness offerings as well. So you'll hear more about that. Also, we are in the midst of 2 curriculum reviews. The middle and high school world language, aka Spanish, curriculum review is underway, and also our high school Spanish curriculum review. So if you were to go through that door, you will see piles and piles of science curriculum, science texts that we are in the process of reviewing. So we hope to next week start getting physical materials in our hands and reviewing those, and then to have a recommendation for you by May. So we have that to look forward to. Finally, another celebration. We talk about our student accomplishments, and I want to let you know that we have some staff accomplishments as well to celebrate. 2 that come to mind today are SITA, which is the Summer Instructional Technology Institute, which takes place at the end of July. It's technology, professional development by teachers for teachers. And I'm proud to say that our very own technology integration specialist, Jen Hansen, is presenting at least 2, if not 3 sessions during that PD event. And that is very much worth mentioning. In addition to that, the Green Lake Math Conference happens every year at the very beginning of May. And not only do we have a large group of teachers who attend that conference, but this year we have a large group of people who are presenting at that conference. They are math coach from Sunrise, Jane Lewis, and if I'm not mistaken, the entirety of the fifth grade, no, okay. On behalf of the entire fifth grade team, I think we have, Erin Valero and Lisa Sokowich, okay, presenting at the Green Lake Math Conference. And so, there are a number of us who are attending, for our own professional development, but also you rah to cheer those folks on, and help them celebrate the great things. I mean, what they're presenting is the work that they do every day in our classrooms for our students. So I'm excited to tell you about that. Questions for me? Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I guess that means we're to the business manager report. You know, this time of year, the board hears a lot from the business manager, which is a good part of our operations. Jake, what would you like to hit on tonight from your report?
Not much addition. The only thing, those proposed insurance plans, one very minor tweak. The 5,000, 10,000 plan needs to go to 5,100, 10,200. Because we can't have the same plans as last year, for getting the 19% rate cap next year. The reasoning behind it, everybody's looking at me confused. I get it. I'm confused, doesn't make sense. It flies in the face of what they're actually trying to accomplish, but so be it. It's a difference of 100 and 200. And so that we got that news this afternoon. That's the only major difference. Otherwise, what was sent to you, I expect to have in front of you for approval in May. Absent any major objections from any of you or reasonable objections from the staff when we meet with them, or the teacher group when we meet with them next week, which I haven't heard, and they've been good about letting us know ahead of time if there is something. So that's it.
I usually like to leave the insurance comments to him for a variety of reasons, but bear in mind that 5,000, 10,000 plan, right? That's exactly the type of plan that they want districts to implement. But because we already implemented, it's not good enough. They have to change it by $100 or $200. So I think there's something wrong with healthcare in our world today, right? Exhibit 27, just from the past week. So I'll move on. From my report here to wrap it up, and then we'll let people head on out, except for the board that has closed session. I want to add one item. It would be on page 1, community engagement. I think there's probably a few of us in the room tonight that attended, but the DC EDC had their annual meeting and awards program at lunch today. Keith and I attended. So that was a nice thing. Some award winners. Again, the large ballroom at Stone Harbor was full. I mean, it was about 300 people there. Different things from youth apprenticeship success to businesses and individuals receiving recognition, and just cool to see, especially as I've been around town now a while, right? All the different businesses and people there. And some of you can appreciate not only from an educator component, but parent component. Happen to be sitting at the table. Across the table from me is the DC EDC youth apprentice, who, as most of you already know, is my daughter, Ryan, who's a junior, dressed up in her professional clothes that she and mom had figured out with director Michelle. And seeing her on the screen, right, you can appreciate kids or grandkids, right, Tina, right? One moment they're this big, the next moment you're looking at them. So our seniors tonight, and it's like, they're like an adult and they're working and they're doing things to help other people in the community. So that was a cool deal, not just as a dad, but educator today, watching like, yeah, this sort of thing is happening. So that was infused with the program. So that was cool. Also from my report, again, page 2, again, board members have seen it, but just reminding you that it's in there. I summarized the election results, just so that's at your fingertips. So you have that if you need it. Page 3, a little bit, and I know Kathy Meyer, while running for board, had touched base with me because someone took her off guard asking about our referendum. Well, I think down Michigan, they had seen one of the red and white signs, right, with the state referendum, right? The dollars, who can be involved with elections, red and white, and associated it with the school district, right, which was taking Kathy off guard. And I said, well, good news, of course, we don't have a school referendum. And then as I was pulling together some information I was sharing with Kathy and to have ready for any of you that fielded the question, I thought, I should probably just put a little summary in my next report, right? If we had stayed on the 3-year cycle, right, again, with community survey, it's all laid out there for you. I'm not going to talk it all through tonight. we would have been up for the next operational referendum ask next spring, right, next April. But again, based on the focus groups and the survey and everyone, people talking, yeah, we love you to maybe make that a little bit longer, a 5-year. We really don't have the operational referendum, authorization from the community ending until the end of the 26-27 fiscal year. So we've got a few years as far as planning, but I've laid some of that out for those of you, whether it's new to you and you're interested how that works, or review for others. That's basically page 3 of my report. Page 4, I did a little summary. Again, once upon a time when I was going to finish my dissertation on school or referendum, that's interesting to me. Some of you have seen the articles as far as, ebbs and flows of where passage rates are and where they're up to. And now, again, 61% give or take, depending what article you read, right down from where it was before. So again, some of you find that interesting. I know I do. And then I just did a little summary, not so much specifically for the current fundraising efforts, right? We have some great people, some great groups working on playgrounds and outdoor facilities and auditorium, right? And the list could go on. But we were talking recently in an admin meeting, and I laid out for the admin team several members who weren't around when we planned the last capital referendum project, right? And reviewed for them, and I put that in my report for you, and again, the public and the media gets this, as you know, that really, while $16.84 million was the kind of the magic number that the community said, in essence, they would approve, and we, the board at the time prioritized that. I was reminding the admin team, and I'll remind you and anyone else, that really over $30 million worth of work was identified. Truth be told, it was probably closer to $35 million worth of work, and that was in those dollars. Those dollars at that time. You and I know, and anyone else, that, 35 million minus 16.84, that's what it cost then. That same work costs more now. And it's certainly going to cost more X number of years when Jake lets you know that, the current bond, that's all being paid off, et cetera, et cetera. So we certainly, any of those entities, and we've talked about this before and want to be able to support that. But the age-old comment of just add it to a referendum, as you and I have explained to people why that can't happen, in and of itself, that's why that can't just happen at this point. The other piece is, you don't necessarily know other than I tell you, and I tell other community people, right, not to steal their thunder, but the reality is the lowest passage rates are on capital referenda around things like athletic facilities, and sorry to say, arts facilities as well. Those are the lowest passage rates. And as one more thing, because it's my job as your employee to remind us of what does the community say, it's not that we don't want to support those things. We would. We also did a survey with the last community survey around the operational referendum. And while thankfully it wasn't a majority of the residents, the highest percentage of resident responses that says, would rather you don't have to cut, but if you do have to cut an area, here's the area we want you to cut. And that highest percentage, again, less than 50%, was in athletics. Now, we know the number of dollars we spend on athletics for a whole district budget and the number of kids it serves is really ridiculously low. But that's also a reminder that even though we'd love to help this, that project, this group, community has given us information. And we know when school boards and superintendents and business officials don't remind people sometimes of how the community has said on something, that can get places sideways, which we work hard not to have happen. So again, not to be the downer, but elections, results, what's up, what's down, sometimes pulling together for you what it is, whether it's a review for some or new for others. I just thought it was important to put that into my board report, even though, again, we're not having to make any decisions on referendums for some time. Allison had a question or comment.
Yeah, I just have a question. Do you typically run one of those community surveys before every referendum?
Good question. I've got some exciting reading for you in the report on that very topic. Historically, districts do that on capital referendum or capital referenda, theoretically, okay? Our last operational, because we were specifically hearing some things around, well, every 3 years, maybe you want to think about longer term, we did do a community survey on the operational referendum last time. I thought it worked really well. Granted, it was also just a couple of years removed from the capital referendum. So people weren't thrown off. Oh, they saw a survey from Sturgeon Bay, which they hadn't seen in many years. 2 years later, we said, okay, this is a little bit of a different thing and a little different purpose, but here's why we're asking. Right, we got nice return, very good information that really led the board at that time, back to your question, Allison, right before your current board service, to say, okay, yes, quite a few people in the community do support a referendum. They support going from the 3 years we've had for a number of years to a 5-year ask of about this amount. And then here's where they're at with these programs and kind of like that one example I shared. And it really made that run smooth. So yeah, as I have in the report, I'd be suggesting we at least think about that approach next time, even though we're a few years out. The other thing that's in there is while we could look at that in a spring typical April election, Jake and I are kind of, nerdy on this part, which you need us to be. That fiscal/school year is a year where there would be a fall general election. So although spring referenda have worked very well for the school district of Sturgeon Bay, if the board, for different reasons, again, a few years from now says, maybe there's a reason we want to go to our residents, right, our taxpayers, our voters in fall, that at least would be an option. Again, even though we don't have to worry about that anytime super soon.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So if you're, say like a person has a residence here and don't live here year round, does that count towards our, like?
Yeah, all the property value minus the tax increment finance districts and some of those things that the city's working on. But yeah, if a resident owns, it is your neighbor or my neighbor and it's their second home, well, that tax value is still part of the city, MWTC, the school, whatever it happens to be, even if it's not their main residence and even if their true vote is back in Northern Illinois or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes up quite a bit actually when Sebastopol has referenda. That whole, Glidden Drive and some of those residents.
That's what I was thinking.
That comes up as a pretty unique dynamic there. And really all of Northern Door more so than say Sturgeon Bay, right? Where you have a lot of second property owners. Yeah, it's still part of the tax base, if you will. So anyway, we can talk more about that in the future, but it came up a few different ways and I thought I should probably address that in the report. It's been a while. Acting President Jenner, that's all I have for this part of the night.
We are ready to go into closed session on per 1985 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. 1, review of staff evaluations for nomination of the 2024 Herbie Hauser Award. 2, consideration of professional staff member leave of absence request. Action may take place in closed session on closed session topics. And B, we will return to open session. Mrs. Ruiz, can you call roll on that?
Okay, Commissioner Halls?
Here, yay?
Yes.
Aye. Commissioner Wood?
Aye.
Commissioner Chisholm? Aye. Commissioner Jenner?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Commissioner Howard?
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz?
Aye.
Commissioner Spritka?
Yes.
And Commissioner Stefani is excused.
You're in closed session.
I was thinking.
Thank you all. Yes.